The 2025 playoffs this year have been nothing short of exciting as well as exhilarating. From Shannon Sharpe cursing the Lakers all the way to the Detroit Pistons finally being good, and even a historical round 1 series between the Clippers and the Nuggets, we have had so much great hoops thus far, and it's only been the first round. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Before I say anything about the actual hoops in the series, I just gotta say, get Giannis some damn help or ship him out of Milwaukee, bro. It's about time. I'm tired of seeing this guy carry his team for nothing. And I know Milwaukee fans don't want to hear this, but unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get him any help. You got no picks. You got very untradeable contracts on the team. It might just be over, unfortunately. But hey, that's a topic for a different time. For game 1 of the series, it was complete and utter domination for the Indiana Pacers. They were giving Milwaukee straight belt to ass. And I'm gonna screenshot this box score for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm gonna put it on screen and just let y'all sit on this for a second and just really reflect on what you are seeing. You're really gonna sit here and tell me with a straight face that 2 Milwaukee starters didn't score a single basket and 1 Milwaukee starter and Kyle fucking Kuzma didn't get a single stat. I truly don't know what John Horst was being told over the phone when he decided to trade for Kyle Kuzma at the deadline, but it must have been some straight bullshit. Not to mention this guy's making $20 million a year. Yeah, pack it up, bro. Cue the clip.
Vaughn was rich. He had money, Cam. Vaughn was still robbing people. What sense do that make? How are you rich and you're robbing people?
Alright, back to the basketball. With Damian Lillard being out for blood clots, and it was unclear if he was going to come back during the series, he actually did come back in game 2, as many people know. And game 2 was actually really close coming down to the end. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks stormed back in this 4th quarter and made it a very close game. With 2 minutes to go, they were only down 2. But then, Pascal Siakam hit a clutch 3, and again, Andrew Nembhard hit a clutch 3, which was the dagger in this game. The Pacers had an all-around great performance. The 2 standout players, obviously, were Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton, but Andrew Nembhard was really out there showing that he's a great playoff riser. I mean, this guy plays physical and gritty defense, and he's hitting clutch shots on the other end of the court, and overall just contributing in a meaningful way to the team. So going into game 3, down 0-2, it was truly do or die for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they had to make adjustments. And the adjustment they decided to make was pulling Taurean Prince from the starting lineup, and instead putting in Gary Trent Jr. And now, if you didn't watch the game, you're probably asking yourself, well, did the adjustment work? Yes, it fucking did. This dude Gary Trent went 9 of 12 from 3. Holy shit! Combine that absurd offensive performance with 4 steals, and Gary Trent Jr. really had himself an amazing day. And they had a convincing win in game 3 over the Pacers. Now, following this, all the momentum would be sucked out of the series for the Bucks, as Damian Lillard would go down in the 1st quarter with an Achilles tear, and Miles Turner and Andrew Nembhard decide to have the game of their lives. And again, Andrew Nembhard gotta be one of the most underrated players in the league. So now, with the Pacers going up 3-1, it was do or die for the Milwaukee Bucks. So what did we see from them? Well, we saw a game that went down to the wire, as with 15 seconds left in the game, the ball in Tyrese Haliburton's hands, down 2, he drives to the rim off a Pascal Siakam screen and gets an open lane in which he dunks to tie the game up 103-103. Giannis comes down the other end, and they don't score, sending the game into OT. Up 7 with only 36 seconds left, the game was all but over. So, it's time to go to game 6. What do you mean they didn't win? Nembhard pulls up from Yucatan on some Anthony Edwards shit, Gary Trent gets trapped, Haliburton gets an and one, and Gary Trent decided to do his best Mark Andrews impression. Then Tyrese Haliburton got an island with Giannis, and it's game. I genuinely don't know how it's possible to sell that much in those 36 seconds. I don't know who on the Bucks organization sold their soul for that 1 ring in 2021, but it's been nothing but downhill ever since. But shit, on to the next. The Clippers and Nuggets game 1 was nothing short of a spectacle, a true display of hoops at the finest level. And in my opinion, most of the game it looked like it was the Clippers game to lose. I mean, every hustle category they were winning. On the offensive glass, the loose balls, turnovers, they were winning it all, until it came to the end of the game. And who better to out-hustle the Clippers at the end of the game than Russell Westbrook? Whether it's staying in the lane, being ready for a Jokic pass, or dominating the glass against Kawhi Leonard, or even hitting a clutch 3 with 25 seconds left down 1, Russell Westbrook was out there doing it all. Now, the Clippers with the ball, down 2, Harden drives to the basket, puts up a floater, and ties the game at 98 apiece. Then, on the other end, Westbrook gets the ball and doesn't even get a shot up, even though they had 18 seconds left on the clock. But hey, you can't fault Westbrook that much. He just brought them back into the game, and he just took them into OT. And in OT, who better than Westbrook to seal the game on a defensive play? On to Game 2. Game 2 was just as close and highly contested as the first, except the difference was no one on the Clippers was making shots besides one person, and that person was Kawhi Leonard. Despite great performances from damn near everyone on the Nuggets, sometimes the game really boils down to who has the best player. And on this night, Kawhi Leonard was head and shoulders above the rest as the best player on the floor. This guy was on a mission. He was looking filthy. He was looking rancid. He was looking disgusting. 15 of 19 from the field. He didn't look like he missed a single shot out there. He was going crazy. Man, I love Kawhi Leonard. I'm gonna stop dick riding, but I really felt like that one scene in Ratatouille watching this performance, man. Gave me straight flashbacks to 2019. Moving on to Game 3. Oh my goodness. Well, moving on to Game 4. In a game where Jamal Murray shot May 17th from the field, Nikola Jokic really had to step it up. And step it up he did, as he had a monster performance tonight, dropping 36, 21, and 8. But to talk about the actual game, man, it was straight cinema. In a game where the Clippers were down at 1 point 20 in the fourth quarter, the Clippers brought themselves all the way back within the final minute. The Clippers continued to make clutch play after clutch play, including this Norm of the North 3 and this Zubats tip-in. But it truly didn't matter, because at the end of the day, with a 1/10 of a second left off a Jokic contested fadeaway miss, this dude Aaron Gordon gets the tip in for the win. Absolute cinema. Now with the series tied at 2 games apiece, Game 5 was crucial. So someone on either team had to step it up. And the player to step it up was none other than Jamal Murray, a certified playoff riser. This guy always gets straight master classes during the playoffs, and if you're a Lakers fan, you know that all too well. The final stat line was 43, 7, and 5 for Jamal Murray. Now, going into Game 6 at Intuit Dome, it was a do or die game for the Clippers, and they did not want to go home tonight, as every standout player for the Clippers had themselves a game. Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Norman Powell all went crazy tonight and secured a Game 7 against the Nuggets. This series had so much potential, man. Why the hell did Game 7 have to be this ass? I had so many Kawhi Leonard narratives to spread. With that being said, congratulations to the Nuggets, to the Clippers. No idea where y'all go from here, but shit, good luck. On to the next series. To be completely honest, I haven't watched too much of New York Knicks basketball this year. But what I have watched a lot of is Detroit Pistons basketball. So going into the series, I was really excited. And Game 1 was nothing but a roller coaster, man. It was a great game. Up until the fourth quarter. If I remember correctly, the Pistons were up like 5 points or something like that, and then they gave up a 23-point run to the Knicks, and then they went on to win the game, obviously. Game 2 of the series was a lot different though, as the Pistons were in the driver's seat for most of this game, and Cade Cunningham was locked in from start to finish, dropping 33 and 12, and you get yourself a Pistons win. The series is now tied at 1-1 going into Detroit, and in Detroit, the Knicks happened to win a game. And this game was led by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. In a Game 4, where the Pistons were up 10 to start the fourth quarter, the Knicks really had to crawl their way back. And who better to help them than Karl Anthony Towns? Cat was hitting some absurd shit, like what the hell is this? But this was truly a game that had you on the edge of your seat, truly excited for playoff basketball, man. It came down to the final shot in which Tim Hardaway Jr. shoots this corner 3 and airballs it, but there was a lot of contact, and the 2-minute report even said that it was a foul. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson both had massive games, and it stopped a Cade Cunningham triple-double, which is very unfortunate because I fuck with Cade heavy. Game 5 of this series was really much of the same, as it came down to the wire yet again, and Detroit was able to pull away from this, and Cade Cunningham had himself a game. Now it's back to Detroit for Game 6. And the Pistons were up 7 with 2 minutes left in their own arena, trying to force a Game 7. And then Jalen Brunson happened. He gets a tough contested layup to go at the end of the game, and most of all, he hits this beautiful 3 to end the game. The worst part is, Pistons weren't even able to get a shot off. You know, as heartbreaking as it was to go out like that in the playoffs, at least you have to look forward to this future. But with all of that being said, congratulations to the Knicks. This dude Jalen Brunson is a monster, and on to the next series. Oh my goodness. What a series.
I mean, we had a game 1 where the Wolves came out to a somewhat slow start and then ended up shooting 21 of 42 from 3. They shot 50% from 3 on 21 makes. But going into game 2, the only thing on my mind was that the Wolves were not going to shoot the way they shot in game 1. So what the hell is going to happen in this game? Well, in this game, we saw a Luka Doncic masterclass where he almost dropped a 30-point triple-double, and then LeBron came back to form and dropped 21, 7, and 11. This was a game where the Lakers were in hand of it the whole way through, and you never really got the feeling that the Timberwolves would sneak up on them. So then, moving on to game 3, we had the opposite. The Wolves were in control of this game from start to finish through performances where Anthony Edwards was going off and Jaden McDaniels, yet again, just like game 1, was going off. And the only player that really showed up for the Lakers was LeBron Raymond James. Although, to preface, Luka Doncic was sick for this game and you could tell it was bothering him throughout. Nonetheless, after this game, the Wolves were up 2-1, which then leads us into game 4. Everything about this game, to the last minute detail, was absolute perfection. The Wolves came into the 4th down 10, and they had a lot of work to do if they wanted to win this game at home. And this brother Anthony Edwards went to straight work. But to get into the actual crunch time of this game, the Lakers were down 1, and Dante DiVincenzo gets the ball with LeBron on him and gets this swat right here. DFS goes down the other way and hits a nice 3. Later on, Jaden McDaniels gets the and 1 to now put the Timberwolves up by 1. Lakers go unanswered. Then Anthony Edwards drives in and LeBron fouls him, which then prompts a 3 that needs to be shot from the Lakers. And Austin Reeves shoots it, and he misses, which brings the Lakers down to 3-1. And honestly, I don't even want to talk about this game because, oh my goodness, Rudy Gobert realized that he was 7 feet tall. He started feasting. He had a full course meal. What's that one Shannon Sharp clip?
Fried catfish, yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread. These are braised oxtail, and these are neck bone.
Speaking of Shannon Sharp, yeah, Lakers in 5. Just not the way you expected, buddy. Also, please, for the love of God, get away from those OnlyFans model, please. But yeah, Anthony Edwards had himself a series, and now the Wolves are moving on to round 2. But anyways, next series. Man, the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. What do I have to say about this series? Shit, not much to be honest. I mean, you know, the Orlando Magic are a very good defensive team, but goddamn, they cannot shoot that 3 ball at all. But they're still a young team. Honestly, I love Paulo Banchero. Franz Wagner is great. But this team is still growing. They need to find better shooters and, you know, just overall make a better team. I'm telling you, give it a year or 2, we're going to have some nasty Paulo Banchero narratives to spread. Anyways, on to the next series. Yeah, the Heat got absolutely smacked. They really weren't supposed to make it in. And the fact that Davion Mitchell had that crazy playing performance really made them sneak in when they were the 10 seed, and I believe they were the first 10 seed to ever make the playoffs. But genuinely, watching the Heat, I can only think of one image, and it's this image right here. Now, if you just swap Polar Bear with Miami Heat, and you swap Arlington, Texas for the NBA playoffs, then you'll get the summary of this matchup. Anyways, on to the next series. Well, it was straight up domination. The first 2 games were damn near over at halftime, and then the 3rd game, it was pretty interesting. And then Ja Morant got hurt, and even though the Grizzlies were up 30, the Oklahoma City Thunder still found a way to storm all the way back. And then in game 4, in a close game, they closed things out. Despite 2 Scottie Pippen Jr. masterclasses, they still won in 4 games. Now finally, on to the final series. Game 1 was a game that truly showed the experience of the Warriors. It was a close game coming down to the stretch, but Curry and Jimmy Butler locked that shit in and led them to a win over this inexperienced Rockets team in game 1 on their own home court. But game 2 was a game that I expected to happen at least one time during the series, which was a Jalen Green masterclass. Jalen Green is without a doubt one of the streakiest players in the NBA, and he dominated this game from start to finish and was the reason the Rockets were able to overcome this Warriors team. Now, obviously, I didn't discuss that Jimmy Butler got hurt early into this game, but I'll discuss it now because Jimmy Butler was out for game 3. But that did not stop Stephen Curry from having himself a night. No one on the Rockets could stop Stephen Curry, and I mean, I don't think anyone in the league can stop Stephen Curry when he's hot. And it was just one of those games for Curry, making the series end up 2-1. Now, game 4 of the Rockets vs. Warriors was an absolute spectacle. Shot made after shot made. These teams were going back and forth in the 4th quarter, and despite Sengun heroics, the Warriors were able to win this game and went up 3-1. But back on the Rockets court, it was a straight slaughter. Amen Thompson had himself a game. He was moving. Couple that with shot making from Fred VanVleet, and you had yourself a recipe to a Rockets 130-point game, which I did not think we were going to see during this series. With the series tied at 3-2, now heading back into Chase Center, it seemed like it was time for the Warriors to finally put this series away. But the double big lineup from the Rockets with Sengun and Steven Adams was proven too much for the Warriors as they struggled to contain them, and Steven Adams had himself a generational game, which then prompts a Game 7. Where anything can happen. And when I say anything, I mean actually anything, because Buddy Hield ended this game with 33 points. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this Game 7 hella slow, because what the hell did I see out there? I saw Stephen Curry start the game 0 for 6 and then proceed to hit every single shot in the second half, and I saw Buddy Hield become a ball magnet out of nowhere. This guy, for all of you basketball nerds out there, shot 110% true shooting. This guy was absurd. I'm not gonna lie, if I were a Rockets fan, I'd be so pissed off. But if you're a Rockets fan, you gotta look on the bright side. Y'all had a crazy season that was very unexpected, and I mean, you got hella assets moving forward that you can really do whatever with. And there's a few names that are gonna be on the market this summer. But finally, I have finished recapping all of the round 1 series. But anyways, that's enough for me. Peace.
That's cause I don't care when he coming, but he can't lose it. No, she tryna make love, I'm tryna make movies. Wait.